Nothing changes in our lives until we change. According to Dr. Joe Dispenza, our personality creates our personal reality. So today we're going to have a real conversation about how to reinvent yourself. I want to go beyond the surface level stuff like goal setting and building habits, because most of us already know that. Instead, I want to offer a different perspective on how to reinvent yourself and talk about the things that may be holding you back. Advice number 1, keep going when it gets hard. Changing your life and reinventing yourself sounds really exciting until you're in it, until you're actually doing the work. People talk about transformation like it's this easy, before and after moment, but nothing worth having comes easy, and nothing worth having comes without any effort. So here's what they don't tell you. Reinventing yourself is messy. It's confusing at times and even scary, but that's what makes it real, because no one changes unless they're challenged. We need the challenge to arrive on the other side, to become this higher, better version of ourselves. What they don't tell you is that the real work happens in between the before and after moments. I like to call it the messy middle. If you're in a messy middle right now where you begin the work, right? You've watched the videos, you've set the goals, you have the habits, but you're still not really seeing any real change in your life, I need you to keep going. This is where most people give up. But you're not most people. Listen to me. Feeling lost doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're changing. You are becoming. Becoming is overcoming. Your challenges can be your greatest teacher. So we cannot run away when it gets hard. Just because you don't see results right away doesn't mean nothing is happening. Reinventing yourself takes time. Nothing that is meant for you can be rushed or delayed. Everything that is meant for you will happen at the right time. You have to trust yourself before you see the results. The best version of you is on the other side of this. Before you can have your dream life and do the things that you want to do, you have to become that person first. And it won't come without any challenges. So you have to persevere. You have to keep going. You have to see it through. Now, let's talk about how to keep moving forward. Focus on your why, not just the what. I think a lot of us know what we need to change in order to reinvent ourselves, but we don't spend enough time focusing on the why. Why are you really changing? Why do you really want to change? Everyone tells you what to change, your habits, your job, your mindset. But real transformation is not just about what you're doing, it's about why you're doing it. If you don't have a strong why, it's hard to stay motivated when things get tough. So ask yourself, are you doing this for other people's approval, or are you doing it because it feels right for you? Listen, in this world of social media, it's easy to change for the wrong reasons, like losing weight to impress people, choosing a job just because it looks successful, or setting goals because someone else told you to. But if your change isn't connected to something deeper, it will not last. Because when things get hard, and they will, like I said earlier, right? You will have challenges. And when those challenges come, you will go back to your old ways. Real reinvention is about becoming who you truly are, right? It's about following your soul's purpose. It's about making choices that feel right in your heart, not just the ones that look good to other people. Real change lasts when it's purpose driven. So take a moment and ask yourself, why do I want this change? Why do I want to glow up? Why do I want to become her? Why do I want to become that girl? Like all the things we're using on social media. Why do I want this? What is underneath it all? When your transformation is based on something real, like your values or your dreams, the life you truly want, it stops being about motivation. It becomes who you are. So let me give you guys an example. I'm an attorney now, but before I went to law school, I wasn't really sure, right? So I needed God to give me a sign. So I asked him for a sign because I didn't want to do it for the wrong reasons. God confirmed it to me. So I went and I fasted, right? I spent time with God. I shut out the noise from the outside world, making sure I was doing it for me and not to impress my parents or my friends or anyone else. And God confirmed to me in the midst of me going, in silence and fasting and praying. He confirmed it to me in my prayer closet that being an attorney was part of my purpose in life. And that why, that bigger purpose is what kept me going when it got hard, right? Even when I doubted myself, I didn't give up because I knew why I was there and I knew that God would never lie to me. Now, here's something else people don't tell you. Reinventing yourself means letting go of certain things, and that's not always easy. So let's talk about what you'll have to leave behind to step into the new you. Accept that letting go can be hard. Change means saying goodbye. Changing yourself isn't just about starting something new, right? It also means leaving parts of your past behind. You cannot have rebirth if you don't have death. And to be real, that can be tough. That can be really hard. No one really talks about just how hard it is to say goodbye to an old version of yourself. But if you don't face it, those feelings can sneak up on you when you least expect them. Listen, even if your past habits weren't helping you, they were yours. They felt safe and familiar. Maybe you're leaving behind a job that you thought would be your dream job, but it turned out not to be. Or a friendship that you have invested so much time and energy into and then it didn't work out. Or even a dream that no longer fits who you want to be. Even if you know it's time to move forward, it's normal and it's okay to feel a little bit scared. Give yourself time to feel. It's okay to grieve the old version of you. Ignore those feelings will not make them go away. In fact, it can make moving forward even harder. So here's what I did, right? I literally grabbed my phone. I had a reminder on my phone like every day to remind myself to grieve my old self. Like it was as if that version of myself was dying and I just had to grieve it. I had to say goodbye to it and give it a proper funeral or a proper goodbye, right? So whatever works for you, just make sure that you grieve that older version of yourself that you're letting go of. Let yourself feel it. Appreciate who you used to be and what you've learned along the way. It's okay to say goodbye to the parts of yourself that just no longer serves you. And then you can slowly let it go. Because real change isn't just about becoming someone new. It's about making peace with who you used to be. All right, now let's talk about something surprising that can help you through this process. Having fun. Try new things and have fun. Listen, change does not have to be so serious. And this is something I wish I knew along my journey. Most advice about changing your life sounds so strict. They tell you to set a goal, make a plan, and stick to it. And I understand that. That is the masculine way of changing yourself. But there is a more feminine way of changing your life. I learned that change is not just about following steps. It's also about discovering new things. And sometimes that means having fun along the way, right? We often stress ourselves trying to figure out, everything. Who am I supposed to be? What if I make the wrong choice? But what if reinvention wasn't just about choosing the perfect path? What if it was about exploring different options and seeing what excites you? I like to think about reinvention as if you were trying on new clothes, right? Like, how are you going to know which one fits you well? How are you going to know what your real style is? How are you going to know what you like if you're scared to try new things? You don't have to pick just one thing. So here's something cool. You don't have to commit to just one version of yourself. You can explore, you can experiment, and you can try different things until you find what feels right. If you want more details on how to work with archetypes, let me know and I can make a video about this. But you can try working with different archetypes. And by archetypes, I mean you can come up with different versions, different identities, and try it out for a week. See if it feels right. And if it doesn't, try something else. Something easier and more practical you can do is trying a new hobby. Maybe you'll love it, maybe you won't, right? But say yes to new experiences, even if they feel uncomfortable. Let yourself be a beginner. There is no such thing as failure when you're learning, right? Failure are lessons that help you grow. And the best part is you do not have to get everything right on the first try. Becoming your best self is a process, not a race. It's not about being perfect, right? It's about growing and learning as you go. I have learned in my own journey that having fun helps me to change, and it helps make the process a lot less stressful. Because when you stop stressing over making the right decisions and start having fun with the process, something amazing happens. You stop worrying so much what other people think, and you start to focus more on what makes you happy. And that's when real change begins. Just give yourself permission to try new things just because they interest you. Follow what excites you. Follow your joy. Follow what feels good to you, even if you don't know where it will lead you. If something doesn't feel right anymore, change direction. Reinvention is not about forcing yourself into a strict plan. It's about letting yourself evolve naturally. Now, reinventing yourself isn't something that you do alone, right? We live in communities. The people around you, your friends, your family, your environment can have a huge impact on your transformation. So let's talk about how the world around you shapes who you're becoming. Look at the world around you, not just yourself. Change is not just about you. When people talk about changing their lives, they usually focus on things like mindset and habits and self-improvement. And all of that is super important, but real change is not just about you. It's also about the world around you. And that's something I wish someone told me a lot earlier in my journey. The people and the places around you, they naturally have a huge impact on your growth. Your friends, your family, your job, even what's happening in the world can all make change easier or much harder. Listen, you might have the best plan and the strongest motivation, but if your environment keeps pulling you back into old habits, it's going to feel like you're stuck. Think about this. Do the people around you support your growth, or do they keep you in the same old routine? Right? Not everyone around you is going to be okay with you changing and reinventing yourself. So question that. Ask yourself those questions. Does your job match who you're becoming, or is it keeping you from growing? Okay? Other things happening in the world, like the economy or the political climate, that could affect your plans. When you start to notice how these outside factors can affect your choices, you'll stop blaming yourself for every challenge that comes your way and start finding ways to work with the world around you, right? Plan smart, not just big. Being flexible is a superpower. When you understand what's going on around you, you can find people who inspire and support your new life. You can put yourself in places that help you grow, right? Know when to push forward and when to switch things up. Reinvention is not just about wanting change. It's about putting yourself in the right environment to make change happen. And it's also about giving yourself grace when you know that your environment is a little bit challenging. Next, rest and recovery matter. In fact, I believe that rest is productive. And the reason for this is, listen, change takes energy. So don't wear yourself out, right? Changing your life is exciting, but let's be real. It's also tiring. It takes effort to break old habits and build new ones. If you keep pushing forward without stopping to rest, you will end up exhausted. Always pushing forward does not always work. We live in a world that tells us to always do more, right? People celebrate working hard, but they don't talk much about the importance of taking breaks. You might set a goal, reach it, and then immediately feel like you need to set another one. But if you never stop to reflect and let your changes settle in, you might feel like you're always chasing something, but never truly growing. So think about it. Have you ever worked really hard for something, but you still felt empty when you achieved it? Like, do you find it hard to enjoy your progress before jumping into the next challenge? Do you feel like no matter how much you change, it never seems to be enough? If that's you, that's because if you don't slow down and take in what you've accomplished, your transformation will not feel real. And if it doesn't feel real, it won't last. So give yourself time to grow. Rest doesn't mean you're giving up. It means you're letting all the work you've done sink in. I would also say give yourself more time to get things done. I've always been a bit of an impatient person. Like, I want what I want and I want it now, right? But I have learned to give myself more time than I think I need to get the things that I want done, right? If I say I want to become this new version of myself, instead of telling myself it needs to happen next month, I give myself the rest of the year. And I realized that when you give yourself more time to rest, the changes that do happen are a lot deeper and a lot more meaningful, and they tend to be a lot more sustainable. Okay, so I definitely recommend when you have a new goal, right? When you've set a new habit for yourself, get used to that new habit, get used to that new mindset before jumping into something new, right? Stay energized so that you don't burn out or give up on your progress. Real change is not about doing things fast. It's about making sure that the changes stick. It's about becoming someone who doesn't just try to change, but actually lives that change. Now let's talk about what happens after you reinvent yourself. Because transformation is not just about starting over, it's about staying changed. Reinvention never stops. Change does not happen just once. A lot of people think reinventing yourself is about making a big change and that's it, right? But life doesn't work that way. Reinvention isn't just one big moment. It's a series of choices, a series of moments, and you're always growing and always changing, right? So naturally as humans, we want to feel in control, right? We want to believe that once we've changed, we're done. But life does not stay the same, and neither do you. If you think reinvention happens just once, you might feel frustrated when things change again. You could land your dream job or reach a big goal or feel like a new person, only to realize that there's still more to learn and new challenges to come. If you fight this, if you try to go against this truth, you will feel stuck. But if you accept it, you will keep moving forward. Here is a secret. Reinvention never ends. And that's a good thing. You're supposed to keep changing, keep learning, and keep trying new things. When you see reinvention as an ongoing process, change will not feel so scary. It's a lifelong journey. So instead of worrying when things starts to change or when things shift, you'll know that it's just another step in your journey. Every new version of you that you learn to access is getting you closer to who you're meant to be. And this idea can be so freeing because it takes the pressure off. You don't have to get everything right the first time. There's no one perfect version of you, just a lifetime of learning and adjusting and growing. So let's put it all together. Reinvention is not just about setting goals or making checklists. It's about persevering when it gets hard, understanding your why, letting go of past versions of yourself, trying new things, thinking about how your environment shapes you, taking time to rest and reflect, embracing the fact that the transformation never really ends. All right, that's it for today. Which part of this video spoke to you the most? Let me know in the comments. If this video gave you a new way to see change, hit the like button and subscribe for more insights on transformation. And if you need more tips on how to change your life, watch this video next and I will see you there. Thank you for watching.